guys, it's Paul from Crowborough Guitar Tuition, and you might have recognised that as the solo from Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin, the opening song on their very first album, the song that introduced the world to Led Zeppelin. It's a right cracker, and we're going to have a look at it now. And the good thing is that actually, apart from some kind of quick bits in the solo, a lot of it is relatively easy to play once you get your head around it. So let's start off without further ado. So the opening chords are an E power chord. So we've got our root at the 7th fret on the A string. But we're also going to bring in that low E string open E at the bottom of it. So we've got... So we're playing across those 4 strings. So that's pretty simple. When we cut into the little riff, we move down to a D5 power chord shape and we just arpeggiate around it to begin with. Then when we come back, we've still got another note to play at the 5th fret, but we're actually going to swap out that first finger for our 2nd finger, because we're going to want that first finger to go to the 4th fret on the D string, the 2nd. So we've got that D5 power chord shape that we arpeggiate around. Then we swap that 2nd finger for where our 1st finger is. So 2nd finger goes down on the 5th fret there, on the A. Our 4th finger, sorry, our 1st finger goes to the 4th fret on the D string, and our 4th finger is going to come in at the 7th fret on that D string. And then we're going to hop down to our 1st finger at the 4th fret on the A, and we're going to walk up 5 and 6 with fingers 2 and 3. Jump back up to that chord. So once you get your fingers around it, I would definitely recommend moving to your 2nd finger once you go to that section of it, because that's going to just allow that to flow a lot more easily than if you stick with the 1st finger. Otherwise you've got a quick jump from this 1st finger to using it again there, which kind of can make it a bit broken. When we come to the chorus, all we've got then really is some standard bar chords. So starting with an A, and we're going down to a G and then to a D. So we're just going to use our standard kind of E-shaped bar chords. So the A is its root at the 5th fret on the E string. G goes down 2 frets to the 3rd fret. And we'll use that A-shaped bar chord over with its root on the 5th fret for the D. That's the first time around the chorus. Second half of the chorus, it moves up. So what we've got there is a B, an A, and then an E. So we're just taking what we did in the first half and moving it up to 2 semitones, a whole tone. So listen though, that second time we go around to that B. What we've got there, you can hear from that A, we've got a bit of a slide. Yeah. And then we slide out to finish. That brings us to verse 2. Verse 2 actually now starts on an F sharp bar chord, power chord, down at the 2nd fret on the E string. Okay, so that's a nice simple one. Then we're going to jump up to the 9th and 11th frets on the D and G strings. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our 3rd finger. What I would do is I would flatten my 3rd finger down so that it's barring across the 11th fret on the D and G strings. And my 1st finger is barring across on the 9th fret on those same strings. Because what I'm about to do is I'm going to go... So I'm pulling off and then strumming again. So start on 11, pull off to 9, and then go back to 11. Okay, so we've got... Yeah, and then we move all the way down. We're going to do the same shape we've just done, but down at the 2nd and 4th frets. So starting on the 4th. That brings us then to chorus number 2, where actually the chords have changed. So this time I'm going to start on a B with its root on the A string at the 2nd fret. So not a B minor, that's a B minor. It's a B major. So what we're doing there is we've got a B power chord down to an A power chord. You can do an A major, sorry, B major, full B major chord there. And then an E open chord. And then the second half of the chorus, we go up to the C sharp, do the full major bar chord, down to B, and then the F sharp power chord. Okay, so again you'll hear that slide. So from the B up to the C sharp. And then this time at the end we don't have the slide, we do have the slide down. Then there's another stab there on that C sharp before this solo kicks in, which is not a problem to play, but it then means you've got to move very quickly up here for the solo. So thinking about this solo section, we heard it at the beginning of the video. And again, it's classic pentatonic stuff, but there's a few bits that can catch you out and there's some quick runs in it. So we start off with, again, that classic bluesy little lick. So we're barring the 12th fret with our first finger across the E and B strings, and we're using our second and third fingers to bend at the 14th fret on the G string. So we're going... Okay, so what we're doing there is we're bending, going up across those notes. So twice on that 12th fret on that open E string at the top. And then back around that those 12s there. Then we've got to do that same little lick again, but we're finishing off with this... So we're bending up there, going across those 12 frets, and then we've got this bend from the 14th to the 16th, and with a pull off to 12 at the end. So we go then down to the 14th fret there, and then we've got 14 on the G as well, so I would flatten my third finger across to get that, those two notes there, because they're going to come quick, so you need to flatten rather than lift up. Then we've got this. So we've got twice on that 14th fret. We're going to just use our first and third fingers all the way through this section at the moment. And then we're going to use our fourth finger at the 15th fret to get that little note during the bend. We're going to hold the bend and then strike that note at the 15th fret. So lots of kind of bending and pulling off there, but once you break that down slowly, you won't have a problem with it. I'll try and play it through slowly now so you can hear it. So hopefully you can hear how that runs through and it's clear on the tab what you're doing there. Stick to using your first and third fingers and occasionally drop that fourth finger in for those notes at the 15th fret. Then we've got a big bend up at the 20th fret on the B string, so we're going to get all three fingers behind that. So you can hear that's a really high bend, that goes right up. You want to try and make sure you get that all the way. And then kind of a bit of descend. Finishing on that 17th fret, and then we go. So what we're doing there is we're starting at the 20th and then to 17. I just use fingers 1 and 3 for this. So we're just using our first and third fingers for that. But when we get to that bend at the 19th fret, I'm using my second finger, but I'm getting that first finger behind it to push it up and give it support. Then we've got this super quick section. So what we're going to do is we're going to work through that section using our third and first finger for those notes on the 12th and 14th frets. And when we get to the 15th frets, I'm going to drop my fourth finger in for those ones. So going slowly through that. So that bar now with these bends in feels a little tricky to hear exactly what he's doing and where, but to get the feel of it, we've got this. The tab says to go to the 17th fret. I wouldn't do that. I'd use this 12th fret here, because otherwise you're going to be leaping all the way around because you're bending and then trying to get up to the 17th and back to bend at the 15th. I don't think you need to do that. Stick with the 12th fret on the E string to play those notes that are tabbed at the 17th fret. Then we've got a load of bends at the 17th fret. So just bend through to the end of the bar. So then we've got that note from the 15th there to the 17th. So use your first finger and your third finger to hit those notes at the 15th and 17th. Then we've got a part that goes like this. So we're going to use all three fingers here, 1, 2 and 3. We're going to go up to 15 to 17. I'm going to pull off using our third and second fingers. Back onto 17 with the third. So we're alternating there between the 16th and 17th frets, and then we're bending at the 17th, finishing at the 15th. So use your third finger with the other two fingers behind it to get that bend, and finish with your first finger at the 15th. Then the tab tells you to play some notes at the 17th fret. I wouldn't do that. I'd, as I said before, move down to the 12th fret on the E string. Then we're going to bend at the 15th on the B. And then we're going to jump up to the 17th fret. Do the bend there and finish at 15 with our first finger. And then that will take you back through into what is another chorus. The only other section then we've got is this outro section, which begins partly up in the mix, and then really this song begins to fade out, so you don't really hear all of it. So you can use some of the tab to get the feel of it. I'll give you a few bits now which you can definitely hear, but if not, just use the E minor pentatonic around the kind of first position here at the 12th fret, and you'll get plenty of nice licks out of it. So we kick into the outro section with this little lick. So again, it's a nice pentatonic lick. I'm going to use my first finger for the 12th frets, my third finger for 14ths, fourth finger to hit those notes at the 15th frets there. With this, it's a really quick little lick, so I would just see the tab, break it down very, very slowly, and build up your speed. So get accurate at it first, and then move forward. Everyone wants to rush through it, but if you rush through it and you don't know it yet, you're going to stumble over notes, and it will sound sloppy. And if you learn it sloppy, it will become sloppy permanently, basically. It's very hard to unlearn what you've learned. So hopefully once you can hear that at a slower speed, that will help you to play it slower and break it down and do a bit more on that. Then we've got another big bend at the 20th fret. So we're just bending that 20th fret, and we're kind of just bending up and down a bit, kind of between half bends and full bends, and striking that note to get that effect. And finishing off there at the 17th fret. Then we're going to the 19th fret on the E string. So we're going to do a big bend at the 19th fret on the E. Then we're going to jump over to the 20th fret on the B. 20th fret on the E, finishing at the 17th on the B. Then we're going to go down to the 15th fret, so we're going to put our third finger at the 15th fret on the B string. Let's get fingers 1 and 2 behind that as well, because I'm going to bend. And we're going to put our fourth finger at the 15th fret on the E string. So we've got 15th fret on both these two strings next to each other. But we're going to strike them both, and we're going to bend the B string at the 15th fret. Then we've got some notes down at the 14th fret here. So I would just use my third finger to kind of bar across those two strings there, the B and G strings at the 14th fret. And I'm using my other two fingers also back bent kind of behind it to give it that bend, dragging those strings down. And really just playing around on those 14th frets, not being particularly accurate with what I'm playing. I'm just hitting those notes to get some nice sounds. Albeit with some slight variations, which is on the tab, and there's another little lick at the end. To be honest, like I said, use your E minor pentatonic and you'll have a lot of fun just making up some little riffs and licks to finish that song off. And of course, if you're playing in a band, you need to work out how we're going to finish this song when, we can't really just repeat to fade as a band. So you can have fun doing that. But that is pretty much how to play Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. A great song. Just work through it, work through that solo bit nice and slowly, and before you know it, you'll be up to speed. Do let me know if there's any songs you'd like me to cover. I'd love to do what you want to do and not just what I want to do. And it'd be great for me to expand my repertoire a bit and play different things. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi guys, thanks for watching. For more guitar tips and video lessons, click on the subscribe button down below and let me know in the comments what songs or video lessons you'd like to see. If you want to keep up with some of our news, you can like us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter, or you can always check out our website, crowboroughguitartuition.com.